I know why you're here. You want to build a gaming PC and you only have $800. Well, it's doable, but what? You want it to perform well in 1440p and still be aesthetically pleasing? You're asking the world of me, kid. But I think we can make it work. So keep watching, and we'll go over everything you need to assemble a beautiful and powerful gaming PC for your $800 budget right after this video sponsor.
When you install Windows on your Steam Deck or any other PC for that matter, you're going to need to activate it to unlock all the settings. Why spend a ton of money for a code when you can use the sponsor of today's video, SCD Key? You can purchase Windows keys at a large discount, and to get 25% off your order, use code JASON, that's JASON, to get 25% off your order. After purchasing, you'll get your code pretty much instantly and be able to unlock your computer's full potential. And remember that all Windows 10 Pro users can upgrade to Windows 11 for free at any time in the future using these keys. Just take your code, go to your Windows activation menu, pop it in, and boom. Windows is activated, and you should be on your way. Thanks to SCD Key.
And as always, links to everything mentioned in this video will be down in the video description. With that said, let's talk about why I chose the components that I did. At this price point, I didn't really want to go DDR4, since it's on its way out anyway. So I decided to go with the DDR5 capable motherboard that will allow us future upgrades down the line and not be stuck with the current offerings. So the CPU I chose for this build is this Ryzen 5 7500F, an awesome entry-level CPU into the AM5 platform that puts out some pretty amazing performance for the price. The 7500F is a 6-core 12-thread CPU that can boost up to 5 GHz, so we're not messing around anymore. This thing can handle most graphics cards pretty easily. It's also built for the AM5 platform, meaning it can be used on a multitude of DDR5 capable motherboards for a few years to come. Currently, the best place to grab the CPU is from AliExpress, since this is pretty much a China-only variant right now, but you'll get the same AMD performance all the same for an amazing price. And to cool this awesome processor, we don't need anything fancy, so I got this Peerless Assassin when it was on sale. It's a pretty standard 4 heat pipe air cooler that comes with a provided ARGB fan. It's really good performance for the price, but I do wish the provided fan wasn't gray. Why not just make it either black or white? Now it probably won't match my other fans. This is obvious future ammunition for the other kids at the LAN center to bully me. The motherboard I chose for this GPU is this B650M D3HP from Gigabyte, a mid-range motherboard that has some impressive amount of features for a small price tag. There's a good level of input in the back, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet to increase your local network speeds, 4 RAM slots, and 2 PCIe 4.0 NVMe slots for super fast storage. This thing will handle basically any processor you throw at it in the future, and it's good to go. It even has BIOS flashback, meaning if you need to update the BIOS at any point to support upcoming CPUs, you can do that easily without having to have a CPU installed at all. The biggest downside is I wish it had Wi-Fi built in, but hey, you can always just throw in a cheap Wi-Fi card yourself, because this thing is otherwise a pretty good deal. But realistically, any B650 chipset motherboard would work as long as it fits in your budget. Now we're working with a bigger budget today, so it seems silly to do 16 gigs of memory, so let's bump it up to 32. We're also using DDR5 now, so we're gonna see a huge bump in speeds than what we normally are using on this channel. This is 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, clocked at 5600 megatransfers a second. It's from a company called Lexar, which is one of the lesser known flash companies in the States, but they seem to do a good job of providing good enough RAM at budget prices. It's not RGB, but it does have a unique and interesting design that will help this PC build stand out either way. The case this is all going to go inside is the Gamdius Neso P1, which is seemingly a lookalike to another popular case from a competitor, but at a slightly smaller price tag. Now, full transparency, Gamdius did send this over free of charge for me to check out, but I'm obviously going to add the retail cost of it to the total build cost. The first thing I noticed is that this case is a chonker. It takes up a lot of square footage on your desk compared to a normal ATX mid-tower case, but it's got a very nice build quality, and there are little touches here and there that made it much easier to build in compared to the more budget cases, such as easy latches to open the doors and just tons of cable room. I cannot deny this case's aesthetics, as it's an incredibly sleek looking case and definitely will provide tons of airflow. Unfortunately, the one I received didn't come with any fans pre-installed, so I'm going to put in these ARGB fans from Thermalright, but luckily they're pretty affordable. The case looks pretty good if you really like this kind of fish tank aesthetic, but it is on the slightly pricier side, so if you want to recreate this build but save some money, you can just grab any other mid-sized case and be just fine. I'll be sure to include some alternatives in the description. Oh, and I realized the motherboard we chose is a micro ATX form factor, but the case is the larger ATX sized case. There won't be any compatibility issues, and realistically, most of you won't ever use a second PCIe lane, but if you ever do upgrade the motherboard to a full ATX size down the line, your case will already support it. Now to power all of this, I've got the old reliable MAG A550BN. a 550 watt power supply with enough juice to do everything we need for this build with a little headroom, as well as be reliable enough to keep us going for years to come. It's affordable, but the only downside is that it is not modular at all, but I guess that's to be expected. And even though the prices are super inflated right now, we are going to need some storage. Obviously, buy as much storage as you can afford, but I'm starting this build off with this 1TB Crucial P3+. It's a very reliable Gen 4 NVMe SSD that can handle speeds up to 5,000 megabytes per second, which is just insanely fast by any standards. And sure, there are faster drives out there, but having storage any faster than this isn't gonna affect your gaming performance and isn't gonna affect the day-to-day use for like 99% of you. So the P3 Plus is perfect for this configuration and this price range. Finally, we need a graphics card. Realistically, the 7500F we have powering this machine would be enough to power pretty much any graphics card that isn't super high-end like the RTX 4090. But when building a PC, you need to be shopping around for deals. You can't be 100% dead set on any one component. Would you pass up a very good deal on a component just because it's like 5% slower than what you previously envisioned? I wouldn't. So I grabbed this RTX 3060 Ti used online. It's a mid-range card from 2021 that boasts 8 gigs of VRAM and can pump out some surprisingly good performance despite its budget price tag. The 3060 Ti isn't the most powerful card of the bunch, but being from the 3000 series, it has some amazing modern features like ray tracing, DLSS, RTX voice, and the list goes on. And at the end of the day, you can feel superior to your friends because you bought a card from Nvidia. If you refuse to buy used components, the only new graphics card you're going to get in this price range that is kind of comparable in terms of performance is something like the Intel Arc A750 when it goes on sale. So yeah, good luck with that. Now that we have all of our components, let's assemble this bad boy and check out how it performs. I decided to include even more benchmarks for this video to give you an even better idea of everything possible for this build. If you want me to do that more in the future, drop a comment below and let me know. Or if you hated it and just want the old standard benchmarks to be simplified, let me know that too. But before ending the video, let's go over some alternatives you can make to either save some money or pump out more performance for the price. If you don't care too much about looks, you can get a much cheaper case and spend that money towards the graphics card. Upgrading to an RTX 3070 or an RX 6700 XT would go a long way with making this PC even more powerful. But if you want to save even more money, you can technically grab 16 gigs of RAM instead of 32, and you should be good to go in terms of gaming for a while. The 32 gigs is more of an investment for multitasking and any possible future game requirements. And in terms of storage, you can always start with 512 gigs if you just want to save some quick cash, and then upgrade your storage later once prices come down. But I think going with the 1 terabyte at this price point makes a lot more sense. If you don't have $800 and you just want to build a PC for like half that price, check out these two videos where we build gorgeous PCs that are incredibly powerful for the price. Please like the video if you liked it, and get subscribed for more technology content. Thanks to all my patrons for the support, and link is in the description if you want to support independent creators like myself and get some really nice perks. My name's Jason, thanks for watching.